Hello, Reckoning7 and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, where we continue our meanderings through the Shipyard Champion series. And as ever, we're going to start week 5 by having a quick squiz back at the results from week 4. And so here they are. So congrats to Moisty, Panzergraph and shout out to Ilari. The only 3 of our cohort have actually managed to beat their human designed AI opponents. So as you can see, we're in this middle group where we did lose our own duel with, unfortunately, Moisty's design, which put him in first place. But nice to see that our Akula class came out ahead and beat Lost Galaxy Gamer. So we're kind of tied third for all that stuff. They decided to do a split on times between Moisty and Panzergraph because they were both won theirs and had their AI designs win. And Moisty came out ahead just by 40 seconds. So a close run thing indeed. So with that done, how does that reflect into the season standings? Well, as you can see, we remain middle of the pack there, solid 4th place, and unfortunately Moisty extends his lead at the top, stretching out to 23 points. Definitely something going to have to be done about that rapscallion. And well, what's that something? Well, it's going to be this week's challenge. So here we are, week 5. What's the deal this time? So it's another fan-submitted challenge. It's come through Tycho123. And this is all about not using torpedoes. So we are up against a 1925 British battleship. It does say loaded with tons of torpedoes. It's not. It was supposed to be a 1925 British battle cruiser loaded with tons of torpedoes. There was a minor snafu with the ship design. And by the time Bro Silly realised that, half the guys had already recorded their videos. So we just decided to roll with it, and we're going up against a British battleship. So it becomes less about avoiding torpedoes and more about, are we able to actually smash through this thing? So we're up against a 1925 battleship. We're going to start 2k or less. 925 or earlier. We can have up to 26,000 tons of ships, but there's some caveats. We can have up to 10 torpedo tubes. And we can only use torpedoes if we are 5 kilometers away from the enemy. So we can't just spawn in and dump a load of torps. So this is kind of a no-torp challenge. Okay, and how do the points awarded? Well, if all our ships survive, we get a point. If half of them survive, we get a point. So presumably that gives you 2 points if everyone survives. As long as somebody survives, that's another point. And as long as you sink the enemy BB, that's 1 point. So your minimum scoring, I suppose, here is 2. Well, that's not true because there's some negatives. If we have no torpedoes at all in our designs, we get 1 point. And if you have torpedoes and get a bunch of hits, you can get some points. On the negative side, if you get hit a load of times, you lose points. Again, I don't think it's really going to be an issue because the ship we're fighting is not as torpedo heavy as it was supposed to be. If you spend ages doing it, you lose a point for every 20 minutes. And you also are penalised for how much of your allowed 26,000 tons you use. So you can get 14,999 tons for free. When you lose a point if you go 15,000 tons or over, another point if you go 20,000 tons or over, and a third point if you go 25,000 tons or over. So lots of points. Okay, so before we maybe talk about what it is we're going to do, let's go and have a squiz at the beast we are fighting. Originally, I was going to come and fight them blind, but after chatting with everyone else, they were saying they all had looked at it, so I'm going to do the same thing. So here is the Revenge class here. So we have a 44,000 ton battleship. It's got extended beam and extended draft, so the beam is going to help. Stability also help against torpedoes, whether you use them or not, an open question. And she's just kind of tough. She's got these 3 triple barrel 16-inch Mark II guns at the front, so they are, they're packing a punch. Slightly worrying. And a reasonable secondary battery, nothing too much to write home about. Kind of 3 triple 5s and some single 4s at the back. But, a pretty chunky threat, and rocks a fairly chunky 14-inch main belt armor as well. Yeah, and we've got up to 26,000 tons to somehow beat this thing. Pretty slow though, 20 knots. So, I had a look at that. And what was my first thought? Well, my first thought was, having failed last couple of challenges, I want to make sure we give ourselves a good chance at actually completing this one. So I'm not going to be too close to the wire. We're only using kind of 14,909 tons or whatever it is. I think we're going to use almost 25,000 tons. So we're going to take 2 minus points there. I also think we'll probably forgo the torpedoes. I don't think it's that useful to try and start close and get far away and then fire some torpedoes in. I'm thinking the way we're going to defeat this thing is by not getting hit. So the plan or the thoughts here is I thought we could get a bunch of destroyers, small ships, and just spam incendiary shells to kind of set it on fire. That'll kind of give us 2 benefits here. One, if I have lots of small ships, they provide lots of targets, which hopefully will kind of split things fire. And if you lose a couple of ships, that's fine. The other one is if we set it on fire lots, then it starts to get an accuracy debuff from damage, essentially. Even though you might not be hurting it too much, lots and lots of fires are going to damage it. And the third thing is it will, over time, start to cause structural damage through burning. So I think that's a good opener. And then my thought was, well, how are we going to supplement that? Let's maybe pick up a heavy cruiser. And put some guns on there that can punch through the armaments. That was the other design. So let's have lots of destroyers for lots of targets, HE spam, and then a couple, a heavy cruiser for AP values. And in the end, I thought, well, actually, one heavy cruiser is risky because if she gets struck, and it's possible, even a low likelihood percentage of accuracy, could take a 16 shell. They're probably gonna have a bad day. So I thought maybe we might design it so we have 2 of these things. So before I look at the designs I've got, let's have a quick squiz back of the scoring and maybe what we are angling for. So then on this, okay, assuming we sink the BC and 1 ship survives, that's 2 points in the bag. I'm not going to use torpedoes. I'm going to say no torpedoes. That's going to be 3 points in the bag. I am going to spend just under 25,000 tons. So that's minus 2 points. And we have clarified that you only get the minus 3 points if you hit the 25k ton mark. So I'm going to get minus 2 points to that, which leaves me with 1 point. Assuming we can do it within 20 minutes, which I think we probably can, then we might be able to pick up a 2nd point if half our ships survive. So really, I think a good outcome from here, we're going to end up with 2 whole points. But that's fine. My kind of views, maybe some other people aren't quite so successful, maybe a few failures, and I think that might be a solid showing for us. I don't want to go too cray-cray with the low tonnages, because I don't want to fail another challenge. Alright, with that said, what then ships did I design? So I ended up looking at the French here. Why did I do that? Well, I wanted just to make sure we had a reasonably good small destroyer and a reasonably good small heavy cruiser hull. I'm sure other nations were available. I didn't put too much kind of detail within the hulls here, but I did want it light. So I ended up with this destroyer. So it's a destroyer 3, and I did that because it's smaller than destroyer 4. So that's what I want. I'm looking for low tonnage to get more vessels out. And as you can see here, I've crammed it full of 4-inch guns. Now I could have put fewer 5-inch guns on here, but again, I'm more interested in starting fires than I am in causing damage with these things. These are just going to spam out. We have gone maximum beam just to try and give it a little bit more stability. It's got a bit of speed, but nothing much to write home about. Usual veterans. Other things to talk about. So we've gone for maximum HE shells. We've kept it on incendiary HE shells because they have the most fire chance. We are not getting through the armor with these, but it's going to work. I've gone for light shells because it increases rate of fire. I've got our autoloaders for, again, increased, well, it's reload time. And we've gone for increased ammo because I think we're going to burn through quite a lot of ammo here. And I have also reduced the gun caliber by minus 16 because it also increases your rate of fire. And so when you add up all those together, we now have our 4-inch guns, which have a rate of fire of 20 rounds a minute, which should be awesome for firing a huge volume of shells at this battleship to start a bunch of fires. And I've done the maths. We're going to have 7 of these. 7 of these destroyers weighing just under 1,250 tons each to fire a bunch of HE shells and start as many fires, and also be a bit of distraction, and we can lay smoke and do other things to generally be ready. Now you will notice they do have torpedo tubes, but that's because you have to have torpedo tubes for the design to be considered valid within the game. You're just not allowed to build them without it. But as soon as we get into the battle, I'm going to disable these, not use them, and I've already cleared with the with Brocele, but that's still going to count for a no torpedo solution. So there we go. These are our little fire boats, which I've named the DD Distraction, or it could maybe be the DD Pyro or something. But anyway, their plan is to fire an ungodly amount of HE shells and set lots of fans, lots of fires. Okay, then the other thing, we have our heavy cruisers. These are fairly small heavy cruisers, coming in just in over 8,000 tons. Again, I've gone for increased beam, give ourselves a bit of stability, and the primary aim of these has been to be able to punch through the 14-inch belt armor of the battleship. And I was playing around, I wanted to find essentially the smallest caliber that was going to poke a hole in that armor. So I could manage my weight. And that's where we've ended up with these 8 inches guns here. So these, and look, I wanted them smaller again, higher rate of fire. So as you can see on the little table there, HE's got nothing, but their AP will punch through 14 inches armor, essentially from 2.5k, unless probably about 3k to be honest. But anyway, but at the starting distance 2k, we're going to be able to punch through their main belt with these things. I did trim a little bit off the length, which does hurt their penetration, but increases their rate of fire. So we're up to a respectable 4.5 rounds a minute, and we have 12 barrels. And because we've gone for the smaller guns, the H guns, and we've kept our weight down, I can afford 2 of these. So I have 2 of these and 7 destroyers coming in for a total of like 24,900 and something tons. So under the 25,000 mark, but a lot of shells going out. Now, these do not have fantastic armor. I've got 8-inch belt armor to give us some protection against secondaries, but 16-inch shells will wreck these things. So our kind of plan here relies on us not getting hit. And we've gone max AP for the ammo here. We've just kept the standard shell sizes, so we do pack a little bit of punch. And we've got a reasonable-ish speed, nothing crazy. We've tried to do a little bit of protection in terms of bulkheads and anti-torps and all this kind of bits and pieces, but the main chunk of our armor is pretty light, so we're not going to be stopping those 16s if we hit us. But our main plan, very simply, don't get hit. And again, they've got a bunch of 4 inches, which will do the same for starting fires. So there we go. So that is what we're going to go with. So let's exit the constructor. Let's jump into our custom battleship, and then we're going to go as France. We're going to be 1925. We're going to start at 2 kilometers. Theoretically, we could start at 1, but I think 2 is going to be ample. Gives us a little bit of room for maneuver. We're going to have 7 destroyers and 2 heavy cruisers. And we're going up against 1 British battleship. Share designs should be always. Again, we're going to do a clear and during the day so we can see what's going on. And we should be good to go. So let us just do a quick start and I'll jump into it. Okay, here we are. My space didn't pause it. I wanted to make sure before anybody did anything that we turned these off for you. Turn these off for you. Okay. What we've got, don't follow. Let's make sure you're on battle line, battle line, battle line. This is good. I'm going to get both to do smoke. Yeah, probably. Let's both just deploy our smoke right now. How are we compared to facing? It looks like she's sailing towards us, which is kind of the worst solution, to be perfectly honest. Right, we'll have you guys turn towards this way. We'll let you go on a little bit straighter. You're going to come this way. But look, firing his main guns at my destroyers, that's kind of exactly the thing I want them to do here. Okay, so we have destroyers off, off, off. You're going to be HE, please. You're going to be HE, please. And my main guns, I want AP on the big guns and HE on the secondaries. Okay. Ah, you missed. Right, I'll go. Right, leave us alone. Look at that. 8-inch shells out. That's good. Oh, hang on. Torpedoes out. We will have to make sure we're paying a little bit of attention, but there, she's burning already. That's what we want. I'm not sure who you're firing torpedoes at. I'll do quite a bit of a tight turn, make sure we don't accidentally sail into those. Look at that. On fire already. I'd really have preferred my heavy cruisers to be behind this smoke screen, but, you know, you don't always get what you want. It's a danger sometimes with these starting, you don't really control it too much. There's going to be a lot of block shots on this. We should theoretically be able to punch through his armor with our ranges at this range. What is the range? 4K, maybe just outside it. We may have to get a scooch closer. Oh! Overpen, partial pen. Okay, that's good. And we want to get in behind it with our heavy cruisers, because that's where his big guns aren't. And she should just be absolutely riddled with shells. But, that was a close one. But yeah, those 16s will wreck us if he ever lands any of them. So it's something we've got to be a little bit wary on. Oh. Oh, like that. Was that even a 16? Yeah, it's definitely. I'm just curious because of the angle, but yeah. There goes a Milan. That's okay. And she doesn't look like she's taking much damage yet, but that's alright. It's all part of our glorious plan. As time goes on, she'll have more issues from fire, which will impact her ability to hit us. And once we've seen the fully identified her, we should be able to... Sorry, just one it. We don't see what impact it's having. Get 100%. So flip to the Revenge, please. Yeah. So if we now click on the Revenge and look at the Algerian, you'll see where is it? The damage instability number start to tick up. So you're at 7% or 10% now, and that's only going to grow. The theory being, as time goes on, we should be getting a little bit stronger, and they should be getting a little bit weaker. Now, our positioning's not great here, as we have to dance amongst the torpedoes, but that's okay. We'll make this work. Oh, you were just torpedoing a sinking ship. That's okay. I can get behind that. What's she up to now? Come on. %. Okay. And it can grow, I think caps at 50, which is the max. Just what we're aiming for. You are a little bit uncomfortably close. But thankfully she is still missing, so this is the plan. Alright, Shipyard in here, turn around, look like she's taking out secondary. Destroyed secondary gun, love it. Oh, we even got blocked there. We've hit one of her torpedoes, good. She's starting to take a bit of damage now. Oh, are you guys sailing into each other? Oh, come on. Please don't do that. Right, you just go away. You're ruining my other, what seemingly very successful attempt here. Okay, good. And we're in behind her now, which is obviously giving us a little bit of protection from our bigger guns. So well, let's bring you guys down a little bit. See if we can't disengage these two ridiculous people. I'll say what, why don't I just get you to separate? Here, detach, just detach yourself. Detach. Right, good. Just get out of here. Right, meanwhile. Okay, she's starting to flood in a few compartments. We've taken a few minor hits. Her actually from damage instability is now at a full 50%. Excellent. Exactly what we wanted. A few fires on the old glass cannon there. Okay, continue to damage her torpedo mounts. Excellent. And she thinks she can run. Only... Ooh, miss. Oh, ouchie. Didn't miss. So we do have a little bit of luck we got to play for, but we don't seem to be suffering too badly from that hit, actually. I'm actually going to separate off the Furyu here into her own battle line as well, just gives a bit more control. Let's detach you. I'm going to have her kind of curve around in behind. Okay, now we just need to apply enough damage over time. We've taken away a reasonable amount of her health. Fire damage is done, a portion of that. Look at that, we've landed 2,000 4-inch hits. And a couple hundred 8-inch ones actually, those are just picking away. Go on, miss. Yeah. Just picking away at the damage there. Our damage crews are actually doing pretty well here, keeping these flooding down. Yeah, that was another good miss. Yeah, you can continue to rake it. I really should stick on one side because it limits the number of guns she can fire at me. But I'm okay for wasting shells on my destroyer. Although, yeah, because we would have lost one destroyer. Oh, and she's gone. Extensive fire. Burnt out already. 7.5 minutes. Alright, I thought she was going to take more punishment than that. Oh, do you know what? I was really good. I'm now kicking myself. I was like, maybe I should have taken less ships. But yeah, we got quite lucky there. I think we took one 16-inch hit on our heavy cruisers, although they seem to be pretty fine in terms of their health. One 16-inch ship and just annihilated a destroyer. Sweet. So we're going to come away with 2 points because over half our ship survived. Oh, we were very close to another extra point there. Cool. I have an idea. Let's say no. So that's our it's in the bank. It's 2 points. What was if we went much lighter? Do you think that would have been enough? It's only worth 1 extra point. I don't think it would. I'm going to see what the outcome of this would be, and we'll maybe share that. Alright, so I've been going this one for what, about 4 or 5 minutes now. Same thing happened where one of the DDs took a 16-inch shell and just blew up. I've noticed that this time we're starting to take more hits on our CA. I think the damage instability... Oh no, it is now at 50%. Okay, it took a while to build, but... Okay, that was a good miss. It's taking us a little bit longer to build up the overall damage. As long as we don't lose our CA, theoretically, these number of ships could get the job done. And as long as I could do it in less than 20 minutes, this would have theoretically been worth another point. But I'm still conscious that one, good hit from his main guns, and oh jeez, 78,000 damage that per destroyer, and the CA is going to go down. Also, if I lose one more destroyer, we'd lose that extra point for having half our fleet. And this is just a little bit of, not quite theory craft because we're doing it in reality, but a little bit of what if, and challenging whether we were overly conservative with the approach we took. Alright, I'll check back in a couple minutes here, far along we can get. Starting to feel like we made the right choice. A single Sable there just wiped out 2 of our destroyers, leaving only the glass cannon left. And I dare say once she comes under the combined fire of the entire armament, it's not going to go well for her. We'll try and stay behind. Oh, that's brutal. There she goes. Okay. Confirmation that we were right to take the 24,000 plus tonnage that we did. Cool. Okay, I'm happy enough with that though. I always like to challenge these things. So, we're going to walk away from this as a win. So that was our final force here. 2 heavy cruisers, 2 destroyers. We sunk the battleship. We had half our force remaining. We had at least 1 ship remaining. We didn't have any torpedoes. There's 4 points, and we spent 2 points on tonnage requirements. We're coming away with a whopping +2. And we'll have to see how that stacks up against other admirals. Okay, well, thanks everyone for watching, and I hope I'll catch you all on the next one. Cheerio!